When the tow driver finally reached the trailhead at Vessel Creek, he found a car with 4 slashed tires and a receipt on the dashboard for supplies that had been purchased 60 miles away, time-stamped 9 days before the man who owned the car had ever arrived. The man's name was Desmond Achebi Ferro, 34, a piano tuner from a small city he described in his statement only as far enough from anything that quiet felt like a vacation. He wanted 5 days without sound. He got something else. His campsite sat 3.5 miles from the nearest paved surface, along a spur trail that county maps still labelled as decommissioned. He chose it because nobody else would. That was the point. The first night, according to his own recording, was ordinary. He kept a small voice memo journal, a habit from work, and the entry logged at 11:51 is just wind and the click of cooling metal from his stove. The second entry is different. At 1:17 in the morning, he recorded footsteps. Slow, deliberate, circling. He narrates it calmly. Probably a deer, he says. They come close. He does not sound frightened. He sounds like a man reassuring himself. There is no deer on the recording. There is something heavier, and it pauses each time he stops speaking, as if it is listening to him listen. By the third entry, his voice has changed. He counts the footsteps aloud. He says the word again 4 times. Somewhere behind the sound of his own breathing, there is whispering, low and layered, and it does not match the cadence of any single person. The recordings stop after that night. He later explained that he turned the phone off to save battery. He also admitted he did not want to hear what it captured. What happened on the 4th night exists only in his account, and his account is not consistent. In his first statement, he said the screaming came from the east. In his second, from everywhere. He described dropping his water, running for the trail, and reaching his car to find the tires opened in long, clean cuts. No phone signal, no moon worth mentioning. He walked back to the campsite because walking back felt safer than walking out. The tent was already torn open. His pack was gone. His stove was gone. The sleeping bag remained, arranged neatly, zipped to the top as though someone had made the bed. Then he saw them among the trees, 5 figures in mismatched, filthy clothing, moving in a way he struggled to describe. Wrong joints, he said once. He never elaborated. One walked toward him. The others drifted outward, closing the trail like a gate. He ran. He reached the highway. A produce truck stopped for him at what the driver logged as 3:42. That should have been the end of a strange story. Instead, it became a search. The county sent 2 officers to recover his belongings. They found the torn tent. They found the neatly zipped sleeping bag. They did not find 5 people. What they found, roughly 200 yards off the spur, was another campsite. Not Desmond's. Older, a weathered tarp, cook cans blackened by years of use, and a child's backpack that had been reported missing with its owner in a case 11 years cold. The obvious theory formed quickly. Squatters. People living illegally in the backcountry, scavenging from campers, frightening off anyone who came close. Cruel, but human. Explainable. Then they found the second hidden site. Then the 4th. By the end of the month, cadaver dogs and volunteers had mapped 31 of them, scattered across a stretch of forest no wider than 2 miles, each stocked with belongings that matched separate missing hiker reports spanning 19 years. Desmond's pack was found in the 22nd site, folded, dry, placed on a flat stone like an offering. The screaming was the part that broke the human theory. Buried in the leaf litter, wired to nothing anyone could trace, technicians recovered 9 small weatherproof speakers positioned at careful intervals through the trees. They had been playing recordings. Humans screaming, layered and directional, designed to seem to come from many places at once. The audio was old, analog hiss. Some of the voices on it matched no living person on file. That reframed everything Desmond experienced. The screams had not been the 5 people. The screams were bait, meant to drive a camper away from the campsite and toward the road, and the slashed tires were meant to drive him back. The 5 figures were not trying to frighten him off. They were positioned to keep him from reaching the highway. He escaped only because a produce truck happened to be running early. The investigation stalled there. The 5 people were never identified, never found, never photographed. The speakers had no power source that anyone located. The case was quietly reclassified and shelved. 4 months later, another camper vanished at Vessel Creek. The search team that went in was larger and better equipped, and one of them noticed something the first officers had missed. The hidden campsites were not surviving on scavenged scraps. Fresh food, sealed batteries, clean water containers. Someone had been resupplying the people in the woods for years and doing it on a schedule. Pinned inside the newest shelter under a rock, they found a laminated sheet, a list. It recorded arrival dates, license plates, and vehicle descriptions for campers who had entered that section of forest. Desmond Achebi-Ferro's car was on it. The entry beside his plate was not written in the days before he disappeared into those woods. It was dated 9 days earlier, in the same handwriting as the supply receipt found on his dashboard.